Okay, at 7 o'clock, you can start, Madam Chairman.
Thanks, Scott. Our first meeting tonight will be the joint Minnehaha County and Dell Rapids Planning Commissions. Good evening. I call to order this regular joint meeting of the Minnehaha County and Dell Rapids Planning Commissions. And I will begin with a few introductory comments. As a courtesy to everybody here in the meeting room tonight, please make sure that all cell phones are turned off. Please note that tonight's Planning Commission meeting will be recorded live and available for viewing by members of the public afterwards on the www.minnehahacounty.org site. In observance of the CDC guidelines for social distancing, tonight's meeting is taking place simultaneously within the County Commission meeting room and virtually within a Zoom meeting room online. In the Zoom meeting room, each individual user on the line will be on mute to maintain communication clarity for everyone. Every item listed on the agenda will be read separately. If any member of the public wishes to be heard on an item, you may raise your hand while I read the item description. If hands are raised, we will follow our normal hearing procedure by requesting planning staff to present a report on each item, and then request the petitioner to come to the podium and make a statement or answer any questions. Anyone from the audience wishing to address the item shall be recognized by the planning staff in the order hands were raised, and state their name and address for the record. We will then discuss the matter and take appropriate action. First on the agenda is public input. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on an item that is not on the agenda?
There's no hands raised on Zoom.
Thank you. Item number 1 on the agenda is the minutes from the February 25th, 2019 Joint Planning Commission meeting. Are there any comments or changes to the minutes of that meeting?
Approval of those minutes.
Second. I have a motion and a second on the county side. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes.
Minutes?
Del Rapids?
Justin didn't give us any minutes to approve, so.
But we were here, Tom. Do you remember?
Right, but, so. No, we don't have minutes to approve.
Okay, we'll move on then. Item number 2 is conditional use permit, and any final action taken on this conditional use permit tonight will take effect 5 working days following this meeting unless a written appeal of the Planning Commission's decision is filed in the Planning Office by Tuesday, June 1st at 5 p.m. In the event of an appeal, the decision will be referred to the Joint County Commission and City Council for a hearing on Tuesday, June 23rd or 22nd, 2021 at or after 9 a.m. That meeting is held in the same room. Next, I'm going to read the description of item number 2. If anyone wishes to comment on item number 2, now would be the time to raise your hand. Item number 2 is conditional use permit 21-32 to allow a recreational facility on the property legally described as Track 1A, Pitts Subdivision, Section 21, Township 104 North, Range 49 West. The petitioner is Kim Hubers. The property owner is Clinton and Kimberly Hubers. They are located 1 mile south of Dell Rapids.
Good evening, Kevin Hookman, County Planning Department. As we're going to have a long evening in front of us, I'll try to keep this short. The conditional use permit 2132 is allow a recreation facility on the property it was described. This recreation facility is going to be for use and enjoyment primarily of children and families. The petitioner has met with staff both from the county and from the city multiple times regarding this request and the different variations and how this request has evolved to come to this point. She has submitted a narrative and a site plan. The narrative describes that the building will have multiple rooms for play and small gatherings, as well as outdoor space to have like farm animals and kind of a farm experience with maybe fruit trees and other gathering type experience to do outside. The hours of operations requested will be variable between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. with later times in the weekends or holidays, maybe up to midnight. And then the facility would possibly be open with key card access for people who have membership during off times or times that it's not open to the public. Staff has reviewed the criteria, including the 6 different conditional use permit criteria. I'll just kind of hit some of the highlights, that the proposed building is going to be like a large shed-like building, a large parking lot. The area, I'll kind of go back to the picture, is just to the north of this location is the industrial park, about an eighth of a mile to a quarter of a mile north of here of Dell Rapids. So having a large building with a parking lot is not going to be terribly out of character of the area because it'll be agricultural and industrial type building. The property is right off the state highway. Petitioner has already received permission from the DOT to put a new driveway or amend the existing driveway for this use. The petitioner has plenty of space for off-street parking. Throughout the narrative, staff has repeatedly noted that it is the intent to make this a recreation facility for kind of small groups and for children to kind of come and go and play, but it's not to become an event facility. Some of the conditions of approval are going to try to deter some of those actions for, say, not having a wedding, say, have the private events limited to, say, 50 people, and also not allowing alcohol to be served at the property. You can kind of look at there are 9 total conditions, but staff is recommending approval of the recreation facility, and I can take any kind of more questions. I better show you a few pictures of the site. Right now, the site is just kind of a grass lot with a hill there. You can see a couple of the barns in the background, and I think the petitioner is planning to kind of add more similar type structures like that for the farm experience. Petitioner does live just to the south of the site, and there's the highway looking north. There's the highway looking south, and the petitioner's house is on the right of the picture there. So yeah, I'll be able to take any questions.
Becky?
I think my only question is about the driveway placement, because there's a hill there, or just enough of a hill that sometimes I think visibility could potentially be impaired. And I know the DOT has signed off on it, but is it far enough south, far enough north, so that that's not going to be a problem?
I believe so. You can look right here and see north. The DOT must have cut that hill down pretty far in order to see it as far as you can the last time they rebuilt the highway. But I do think there is a pretty good sight line when I did the site visit there.
Thank you.
Any other questions for him? Is the petitioner here? Will you please step forward and state your name and address?
I'll make sure they're not in the other room.
Madam Chair, being as we are broadcasting this, make sure that your neighbor commissioner can use your microphone, because she doesn't have one dedicated to her important input. It's funny, but it's also true.
The petitioner's not in the overflow room.
Madam Chair, could I get Kevin back up
Sure,
here? I
he's
gotta
going
ask
to
my
come back up
question.
anyway.
Yeah, Kevin, is this going to be operational 365 or all year long, or is there certain months that she intends to be busy?
I believe she intends to have it operational all year round. And I would assume there's going to be times of years and even, she was saying, not private events, but some public events that might happen at the place, like a farm day that people will come. And that might be busier for those types of days, but, yeah.
Kevin, was she aware that she should have been here, or?
So, and she has been really on top of things, so I'm kind of surprised she's not here.
Madam Chair, I'd like to ask the Dell Rapids folks what they think about it, because while this is joint, we want to hear what you guys think.
Well, my main concern is just that it doesn't become an event center. 'Cause it's not quite the place for it, I guess, but as long as it's recreational, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I would reflect that.
Yeah, I noticed in Kim's write-up, she had said events less than 100, and I see the recommendation is to limit to 50 as a maximum. Is that something that was discussed with them? Are they aware of that limitation?
I will try to speak to that. So in her narrative, she describes kind of like a public event, I believe, she describes. And that would be the difference, is that a private event would be as if like one family wanted to rent the facility out for the evening. We wouldn't want to have large private events. But from time to time, I could see that a farm day could attract more than closer to 100 or more.
Right, and examples she had here were an Easter egg hunt or Santa at the farm. And I'm thinking if you just got 4 or 5 families, you could easily, or
Yeah.
10 families, you could easily exceed that limitation.
But the 50 is just for private
Yep.
events.
That's just private.
Because that would be for, she advertises this event's going to happen at this location,
see
and
that. Okay.
anybody's invited, so.
Okay, thanks, Tom.
Okay, any other questions for him?
Madam Chair, despite their absence, I'll make a motion to approve conditional use permit 21-32.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to approve conditional use permit 21-32. Any further comments or questions on the county side? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Do you have a motion on this side?
I move. I'll second.
Do you have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Nay? None.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to adjourn the joint meeting with Dell Rapids.
Motion to adjourn?
And a second to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
We have a
Motion
to
passes.
adjourn on this side?
I'll make a motion that we
Second.
adjourn.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Adjourned.
Dale Rapids?
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
County and City of Sioux Falls Planning Commission meeting will begin immediately following this meeting.
Have a good night. All right.